Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. We are back on the LS3 F80. Here it is behind me. As a lot of you guys know, we did LS swap the F80, and if you are new here, you can go back and check out those videos. It's pretty interesting on how we did this. We have a lot of work still left to do on it. We've been busy with a bunch of other things, and it's been kind of hard to work on this project simply because it's just a project. It's a toy. It's not how we make our money. So, you know, business has to keep going. Projects, they get put on the back burner. But today we actually have a couple of parts that did arrive that we need to install onto the F80. There's a couple of things that need to be fabricated, designed, thought out, drawn out, and possibly built 3-4 times before we get it right. This is the factory transmission cooler right here, and it's not going to work because of the way it runs on the factory car. It runs along the hard lines, run along the motor. We have a thermostat, oil cooling thermostat that sits on there as well, and they're all hard lines, so they will not work with this motor because instead of being off to the side like the S55 sits, this motor is now sitting directly in the center. So the lines from the transmission to the cooler are not going to work. And so since we are replacing all the lines and stuff, I figured we might as well go ahead and modify the cooler a little bit. These coolers I hear are very efficient and very good, but I also think that the design that we are thinking of will be just as good, and it actually might even be better. Let me show you guys what we got going on. So right here we have our oil cooler. This is from a company called Derail. I'm sure a lot of you guys already know who they are, but this thing looks really nice. It looks really high quality. It doesn't look cheap at all, and it's got this cool little fan on here. With this fan right here, you know, you don't have to keep it in the wind to keep the oil cool. So that's really cool. I think that this is going to be a little bit better even than that. It looks like it has about the same surface area. If you look at it, look, it's a little bit more than twice as tall, and then, you know, this one is twice as long. So this one actually is going to give us more surface area than this one. I bet if we measured the square footage here, this one would have more. And the cool thing about this one is it is going to go right here into the corner of the bumper where the auxiliary turbo radiators sit. So that, I think, is going to be a big plus for us. Not only is that going to free up the front for more airflow through the radiator, but it's also going to you know, have our transmission cooler in a good, nice spot that's out of the way and not in the way. That makes sense at all. So here's what we need to do. We need to put the front end back on this car, and we need to figure out a way to mount this cooler. And then once we mount this cooler, we can then run the AN lines, hook up the thermostat, and hook up the lines to the transmission, and then we can move on to the actual cooling for the engine itself. The wrong side or what? Oh. I'm just gonna use these black ones right here.
I mean, they are just times, aren't they?
Yeah. I'm thinking about actually swapping all the star bit bolts on here to, you know, just regular bolts because it's a Chevy now. All right, so here we've got our mounting. Look, there's the horn. That right there, that thing goes beep. And I can see that this cooler was the original factory cooler is a little smaller, but.
Well, it's actually, you know what's funny? It's the same size, but just different rotation. Almost the same size.
I think we need to move the horn too. I don't really like where the horn's at.
I think this thing needs some train horns.
I think it, hey, horn blasters. We need a setup for the F80. I would totally do it.
Yeah.
I would so put it on. I would install, I'd get everything mounted in the trunk real nice. and then put the horn somewhere where I could just. All right, so now what we need to do, we need to go ahead and just mock it up. Just mock it up, mate. I'm suspecting the lines probably need to go down, right?
I mean, it don't really matter.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if they go up, they'd have to go through the headlight. You know, we don't want that, right? How did this cooler sit here? Bam. Like that? Do they sit straight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Is that? Oh, it's part of the same thing.
Oh, you're talking about these tabs? Yeah, this is gonna be some engineering going on here. It needs to sit like this because the back of the fan needs to be where the original cooler sat. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom. Headlight is mocked. I mean, there's plenty of clearance there. What are you thinking?
What am I thinking? I should probably go ahead and put those lines on.
Onto the cooler?
Yeah.
And you get the bumper over here as well. I think I know what needs to happen.
What?
Get rid of that fan.
What do you mean?
Get rid of that fan. We don't need it. Check it out, we got the cooler all installed. Look how solid this thing is. We've only mounted it in 2 spots. The first spot here is a factory original spot for the horn, but since we are going to be installing a train horn, we don't need those crappy little BMW horns. The second spot is also a factory attachment point. This is the bracket that holds the original cooler that goes here, which is for the turbos. We've just modified it now to hold our transmission cooler. The last spot, I think 3 spots will be perfect. It will probably even hold on with just those 2, but we need this thing not to move around, not to rattle. It needs to be professional, so Nate has manufactured this bracket. Also, a factory original bracket to the car, so really, the car is stock at this point. We're going to install this bracket back here, just like that. And I'm gonna use this 10mm bolt for now, just to mock it up. Everything is really just a mock up at this point. We're just trying to get it all designed and get this thing done. So we're gonna get another bolt. Dang. Into factory position.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Look at that. All right, that bolt's on. Let me go give me another washer. Oh, there it is, I found it. It's always nice when you find something that you lose, unless it's your ex. Get it all down, just torque it down the spit. Oh, I was unscrewing. Right now, as it sits, lines have been run. We're ready to install our, what is that thing called?
Thermostat.
Our thermostat, which is right here. We got this thermostat from Mishimoto. Obviously, we had to go with a good name brand. And Mishimoto is, I think, one of the leaders in the industry of cooling products. And not really big on swaps and stuff, so I don't really know much about things like this, but I know that Mishimoto is a good brand. So I'm just gonna go by what all the other people are going by. The people that have bought from Mishimoto, the people that race with Mishimoto, they all say it's a great brand, so we're gonna go off of that. And as you can see here, it's pretty actually high quality looking. Like it's not very cheap looking. So, you know, I think we went with a good brand. And then what would these go on the sides here?
Yes, sir.
Little crush washers.
Where are we gonna mount that thing?
I don't even know, man. This thing looks pretty cool though. We could mount it on the dashboard.
Yeah, it's a shame to mount something so nice looking.
Something so sleek and cool looking.
I think we need to
bottom.
put it somewhere where you can maybe see it.
Maybe cut a hole in the hood, that way they can see it from the outside. I say we lift up the car and just start looking for a spot. All right, now that we've got the car lifted up, I think I kind of lifted it too high.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I'm gonna bring her back down. I gotta bring her back down, man. Just one lock. Right there. All right, so first things first, probably need to remove this, yeah?
Yeah, I'd go ahead and
because
remove
we
that.
don't need this factory BMW junk. What is that, an 8 mil?
10.
I don't think it is an 8. It might be a 10.
Good thing you got a 10.
It is a 10, Nate. You're right. When you're right, man. I can't argue with you if you're right. It's kind of tight in here though, BMW. I feel like you guys didn't build this car with the mechanics in mind.
Hey, you can go ahead and sell this.
Nate, why don't you tell everybody why my pipes are rusted?
Because you didn't pay for the stainless ones.
Oh yeah, is that it?
Yeah.
Is that what it is? You sure ain't got nothing to do with you cleaning all the oil off them? Wait, dang, is that factory?
What?
Or did we make that?
What do you mean we made that?
For real? There we go, there we go. There we go, there. Oh, she's out. There we go. If anybody needs a factory BMW, hey, quit dripping on me. Right there, look, ain't nothing wrong with it. Fully functional, fully developed BMW transmission cooler. Alright, now that we've got all that stringy mess out of the way, it's just gonna stay dripping on me. But that's okay, we need to stay lubed up. Alright. What's going on right here? Why is this in a loop? That cooler cooling itself, Nate.
Oh yeah, I had to loop it.
What about, I'm stuck.
What's going on here, boss?
The only way to cut a string is a Milwaukee sander. All right, so these are our cooler lines. They are running from the cooler to the back here. We need to make them nice and like cooling like, I guess. I'm thinking we probably need some sort of bracketry right here where we can possibly mount this right here. What do you think, Nate?
Yep. Yep, that looks perfect.
The only issue that I can see with this mounting situation right here is gonna be like actually getting these lines to run around right here. It's gonna be kind of hard. The lines are kind of thick. You see what I'm saying?
Well, those are gonna be -8, so they'll be a little bit smaller.
Yeah, see, this is one of those things where it's like a little more complex than the cooler. You know, like this actually needs to be set up. And another thing I'm wondering is the mounting bracket on this thing is, it's a little weird. I don't know.
What do you mean?
Well, it's like, there's just not enough space in there to get like any kind of real bolt in there or something. But again, you know, I'm not a big swapping guy, so I don't know much. Maybe there's something I'm missing. What I think
I'd say just go off these 2 oil paint bolts right there.
I'm really on the fence about this mounting position. You know what though? It always happens this way. We always end up not knowing where to mount it, and then we mount it somewhere, and we post a video, and somebody steps back with a clear head and looks and is like, hey, you guys should have mounted it right there instead of right there because it would have been easier. You know, that's exactly what's gonna happen. So I'm thinking I might just ask you guys, where should I put this thing?
The only problem is we have to actually mount it for them then to hindsight say
yeah.
Because
so
if we don't mount it, they're not gonna tell us where to put it.
If I don't mount it, you won't be able to hate on my mounting point. But dude, I just don't want to mount this thing until I find a really good spot for it. And honestly, I don't think this is a good spot for it.
You don't think so?
I just don't. Just the way that these lines are gonna have to run and the way they're gonna have to turn and curve around here and hook into there, I just don't think, what I would really like right here in this area from there to here is a long set of lines that are flexible and movable. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I wanna mount this thing somewhere in a position where, you know, it's possibly something like that. If that wasn't in the way, that would be a perfect spot for it. But see, we have that in the way. Unless we can just cut this off.
Wait, we can use that.
As a bracketry?
Yeah.
Bro, look at that. But then it's gonna be a hard turn here. We could step it off, but then it's gonna be next to the exhaust.
That's not, what do you mean? It gets hot anyways.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just trying to brainstorm here. You know, I don't wanna just stick it in the first spot that I look, you know? You don't even wanna stick it in the first hole you see. Here is our options. Either we mount it right here with the M pointing that way when you lift it up on the lift, you can see Mishimoto. Or we mount it right here, kind of at an angle, which I believe will be too close to the exhaust, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Or we can mount it up here. And I honestly think that this would be like ideal. Something like, if we can move that ground right there. Look, Nate, come over here. Look, we move that ground and mount it right here, basically where that ground is.
Yeah.
That would look cool. You're looking down from the top, you know, it's at the car show.
That would be weird. That would be weird with the lines.
Why? The lines are right here.
Yeah, it'd be weird.
How? It'd be a straight shot.
For one of them, not the other one.
That is true. What about right here on the engine?
That could work. Look, you could do a 45.
That's perfect.
You could do a 45 off of there.
That's actually perfect if we can find a way to mount it right there.
So what do we need, 245s?
245s, and then it'd be a straight shot back. It'd be already going exactly.
That's the problem, dude. You end up needing to order something and it takes a week to come in.
Yeah, that's why you have to make, like, you have to do this little by little every day. You have to work on it, but it's hard because, you know, ADHD and, you know, life, stuff like that. I think this is actually a perfect spot. I really do. Because it's going to be away from all the heat. There's not going to be that much heat on the engine right here. And there's already a perfect bolting spot right here. Look.
What? We can go ahead and bolt it down.
Kind of, but look, you still have to build an extra bracket.
No, we'd make a new bracket.
Yeah, it's going to need a new bracket. We can make a bracket that bolts on with 2 bolts here. Or 3 bolts, 4 bolts, 5 bolts, 10 bolts.
How much bolts is there? Just 1?
3.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's perfect. I think this is a perfect spot for it. I honestly do.
Yeah, that looks like a perfect spot.
It's gonna look like it's like it was meant to be there. I think that's a perfect spot. What do you guys think? Let me know what you guys think, because honestly, I might just wait. I might wait and not mount this and then see what you guys say in the comment section, and then we can bounce ideas off of each other, because I think it's gonna be better that way. With more people thinking about it, more people putting in input, I think it's going to be better, not only for our channel, but just for the build in general. You know, I want you guys to be a part of this build, and if you guys can help me out in any way, I am open to it. Whether it be advice or whatever it is, I'm open to it, because me and Nate, we're here alone. That's it. This entire build, this has been us. We haven't got any help from anyone yet, so any kind of help will be greatly appreciated. I'm not begging for help, but I'm asking for you not to help. You know? Kinda. So Mishimoto with the M sitting straight up right here, or Mishimoto with the M sitting straight up right here, or somewhere over here, sort of at an angle. But like I said, I don't like this area because it's got a lot of heat right here. And you know I'm gonna be putting the pedal down to the metal, so this thing's gonna be roaring and probably spitting about 46 feet of flames out the back. So we don't want anything super close to that exhaust. I think, Nate, I think we have a lot of research and design still to do.
Yeah, I think so.
You know, we tried to do this, and we almost got it, but the problem is that there's just not enough time in the day. There's literally not enough time in the day, and there's just so much stuff to do. And guys, we've been busy at the shop. Come here, let me show you guys something. We've been busy on the Austin. As you guys know, we've been working on this car, and there's just so much that goes into this car. Every time you turn around to install something or do something, you need something else, you have to order it. And we could have just stripped this car down and painted it, and then gave Jason the car back in a big box of junk and said, here, put it all back together. But you know what? It's really tough to put something all back together, especially something like this when somebody else took it apart, and then you're having to put it all back together, whether it be you're missing something, or you don't know how to put something back, or you don't know where something goes, or something's broken, or something was never there. It's just a big hassle. So we're trying to give this car back to Jason exactly how we received it, except plus the paint job. So as you can see, we've got new tires on it, we've got the rims painted, we've got the hubcaps back on there, we've got all the hardware back on there. I believe we're gonna be replacing the top. The top is a little bit worn out. I think this car needs a new top. We've got a lot of stuff. I think it needs a new fuel cap as well. But man, this thing is looking so good once we clean it all up and detail it and polish it up. And I can't wait to see the new owner's reaction to winning this car, especially on top of the fact that you're not gonna have to buy a single thing. You're not gonna have to spend a single red cent to win this car right here. So that is what makes this giveaway so cool compared to all the other giveaways where people are making a bunch of money off of them, and the giveaway is not hurting them at all. This is something where somebody is actually sacrificing their own money and their own time for you guys to come up and have something that you can enjoy. So that's really cool. Also, we have been stuck without the frame machine. Dad has been on the frame machine. In the last video with the Mustang, you guys know that Dad was pushing us off the frame machine, which is fair, it's his rack, whatever. But come here, let me show you what he did. So this is Dad's QX60, and it was like, when I looked at it, he asked me if I wanted to do the framework on it. I was like, I kind of don't. But then we put it up on the frame machine. I helped him get the doors open, and that's when we realized it was just a simple door post. And it was not damaged at the bottom at all. It was just this door post. And look at this, guys. Dad got it all knocked out. He did it all by himself. I think V-Tuned helped him a little bit with the welding. I helped him here and there a couple of times. For the most part, he did it all by himself, and it looks really good. So we need to get this thing off the frame machine and get the, what is it, the Pilot? We've got a Pilot to do. And then we've got an Acura RDX or whatever as well. So that's a lot of work. And then another thing that I was doing, I don't even know if I want to show you guys this because this is just absolute insane, but whatever, let's go. Now, before I show you guys what I've been doing here, I want to remind you guys that this is actually a very nice boat. Come here. up here into my office. Look at this thing. Now, it's a little dirty from sitting here, but if you look right there, where I rubbed that spot right there, it cleans up nice. I did that right before I bought it from Paul, because I said to myself, you know what, if I'm gonna be paying any kind of monies for this boat, it better clean up nice. So I scrubbed that section, I scrubbed that, and look, it already got dirty again, but it cleaned up. So I was like, okay, it cleans up, it's got a V8, it's got 2 amps, it's got a sub, it's got a nice floor in it, and it's got a perfect interior in it, which is at Paul's house stuck in his garage. And the engine is good. Everything on this boat is freaking perfect, except for one thing. Let's go look. This boat was involved in a rear end collision. And basically what happened was, I'm thinking maybe possibly another boat hit it right here. I know it did not hit it here because this part right here was like V'd in. And Paul started fixing it. Him and Vlad started fixing it. They got this part fiberglassed, and then they just gave up because it's a lot of work. So I bought the boat from Paul on a whim. You know, I seen that it was a V8. I seen that it had sound system in it, and I was like, let me get it. I didn't see all this. I didn't even see everything up underneath it, but I've been slaving away on this thing for the better part of a week now. Look how flat I got this top, man. I'm telling you, man, this thing is flatter than your ex-girlfriend, buddy. I'm telling you what. Look at that. I got all of it done, man. The only thing I have left to do is I need to put some tiger hair right here and then do some finishing work on the edges. But look up underneath, man. I'm telling you, I was under here. I had to strip all the gel coat off, grind down into the cracks, lay the fiberglass and the resin on there upside down, which is not easy. For those of you guys that know anything about resin and fiberglass, you'll know that doing fiberglass work upside down is not easy. It's just not easy. But I'm at the finishing stage here. As you can see, everything is nice and smooth and flat. I just need to sand all this out a little bit, add a little bit more putty to it, gel coat it, and we're out on the water in a pretty decently nice boat. And I gotta tell you guys, the price that I paid for this boat compared to what they're going for and what it is, it's a steal. It's definitely worth it. No regrets buying it, besides all the sanding and all that, you know, kind of cutting into my social life here. But once it gets done, it's going to be absolutely amazing. Nate's gonna fix all this for me. Ain't that right, Nate? Didn't you say you were gonna fix this outdrive for me?
Oh, you want me to polish it up for you?
Yeah, polish it up for me. That's the only thing that sucks about this boat. It was stored in a slip on the lake, and as you guys know, if you store a boat in a slip on the lake, it's gonna have all kinds of nasty stuff growing on the bottom of it, and it is a little bit dirty. I'm hoping it'll clean off. If it doesn't, I'm just gonna sand it and let it go to Florida. Nah, I'm just kidding. We're gonna get this thing cleaned up and we're gonna be on the lake before it gets cold. I promise you that. Mark them words, bud. Mark them words. Write them down in your notes right now. But that's mostly it, right, Nate? What else were we doing?
That's pretty much it.
We had a bunch of other stuff. It's all gone though. You know, we can't film everything. It's hard to film everything. So that is going to be it for this video, guys. Let me know on the F80 about that thermostat. I really would like to know you guys' input. You know, sometimes it's hard to like come up with ideas and stuff as you're working, because you know you got a bunch of other stuff going on and your mind's just boggled, and then somebody else who's not really dealing with a bunch of stuff can look and be like, hey, why don't you do it this way, or why don't you do it that way? And I notice that in our videos all the time. Somebody will come in and mention something and I'm like, you know what, I never even thought about that. Where were you before? So right now I'm giving you guys a chance. Let me know where we should put that thermostat and how we should do it, and who knows, maybe my ideas are pretty good and they're gonna work. So let me know in the comment section, and also I will see you guys in the next video, so peace out.